Greetings, fellow travelers, and welcome to Traveling Well. You believe the whole summer has gone by, at least my 2-month summer break has gone by, and I know I haven't posted anything, but I've actually been really busy. I've done a lot of stuff in the last 2 months. June and July of 2023 have been filled with a lot of things. So, in this episode of Traveling Well, you're going to see my hiking trip to Bear Creek up on the Pinhoti Trail. You're going to see my weekend in Bainbridge, Georgia, where I was down speaking at a Journey of Faith conference at Bainbridge Church. Check them out if you're ever in Bainbridge. Great friends, wonderful church, and it was just a fantastic weekend. And then we had a family trip to Bryson City, North Carolina, up in the mountains where the mountain breezes were cool, where the temperatures were moderate, where the humidity was low, and it was absolutely beautiful. And we had a great time. We rode the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad. We visited the Smoky Mountain National Park. We did just a variety of things. And so you'll see all of those things in the video. I also accomplished some other important things through the summer. I finished my 5 Minutes with Mark online Bible study. I will post a link for that for you in the comments, so you can click on that. It's 158 segments, but we start from the beginning and just walk through a casual stroll of the Gospel of Mark. I think you'll enjoy that. Also, I put together what I've called my Over 60 EP, that's extended play. It's a musical piece that I posted on my Eclectic Monk podcast. I will put that down for you as well. If you hear something, that's because we also got chickens. And, well, that's a chicken. And I have no idea what she's doing, but she's making noise. So, there you go. It has been an eventful summer. A lot of stuff going on, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Traveling Well with the Eclectic Monk. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Till next time, travel well. Enjoy the journey. Never doubt that you are deeply loved by the God who created you. See you soon. At 729 feet, Amicalola Falls are the highest waterfall in the state of Georgia and the third highest fall east of the Mississippi. It's also a beautiful state park. Amicalola Falls State Park is located just north of Dawsonville, Georgia, and it's well worth the visit if you're ever in the state. My wife and I have both been coming here since we were children. It was a favorite destination for our parents to come and have a picnic, let your kids play in the creek, and just stand in front of this beautiful waterfall, take in the mountain air. Amicalola means tumbling waters, and this was a sacred place for the Cherokee. It's a special place for not only myself, but for a lot of people. And it's really fascinating to see that you're surrounded by people from all over the world. If you listen to their voices, their accents, and even their languages that you don't understand. It's really cool. The Appalachian Trail begins here or ends here, depending on if you're hiking north or hiking south. And there's always a lot of backpackers going through the park. Really cool. Also, it's a great place to walk down the stairs, and you get to this observation deck right in the center of the falls. It's a completely mind-boggling and breathtaking moment. Again, you have to see Amicalola Falls. How many steps is it? Oh my God, let's go climb 425 steps. Of course, when you climb downstairs, you have to climb back up them. Oh well. don't know who NR was, but we got a lot of stairs to go. We finally made it, and although my legs hurt for a few days, again, a trip to Amicalola Falls is always a good experience. You don't want to miss this one. So after what seemed like the rainiest spring ever, June came and we finally had a weekend that was dry enough to get into the woods. I grabbed my friend Mark and we headed up the Bear Creek Trail, part of the Pinhoti system. First thing you see is the Jeanette poplar. It's the second largest deciduous tree in the state of Georgia, and it's just the beginning of what is an absolutely beautiful hiking trail. I'd been on this trail once before, about a year or so ago, and well, never trust your memory. That's all I can say. So last night we were trying to get to this particular campsite I've been to before on the Pinhoti Trail on Bear Creek. And we were hiking up, and I knew you have to cross a creek, and then there's this great campsite right on the left with a fire circle and everything. Beautiful spot. But we foolishly followed the sign at an intersection and somehow wound up on the Mountain Creek Trail, which is right there beside me. And obviously we started crossing creeks and there was no campsite. So as it was starting to get dark, we lucked upon a flat spot right next to this creek. We got our tents put up and collapsed because we've both been up for a very long time. But we're out here in the woods, got a day to spend just enjoying this beautiful spot. We're gonna go back up Mountain Creek, get back on the Pinhoti because I really want to see those waterfalls, and I'd like to hike all the way up to the northern terminus of the Pinhoti Trail so I can say I've finished this section, and then I can section hike the whole thing. I've done a lot of pieces, but I'd like to hike all the trail sections of the Pinhoti all the way down through Alabama. That's a life's goal for me. So anyway, it's Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day. My friend Mark and I are going to pack up, go back the way we came, and then get on with things in the right direction. Stay tuned. Good morning, Mark. So there's nothing like making a big mistake and hiking along with your friend who keeps saying, "Are you sure there's a campsite?" And you keep saying, "Yes, I've been there." But then we kept crossing creeks and crossing creeks. We probably crossed 4 or 5 times, and finally I had to say, well, I know there's a campsite somewhere, but I don't know where I am. The thing is, the spot where we camped and got up and saw the morning come in was an absolutely beautiful spot. So as Bob Ross would say, it was a happy accident. And now I've seen another beautiful trail up in North Georgia. As I said, this trail is filled with water. And so one of the things you want to do if you ever come and hike the Bear Creek Trail, bring you some water shoes, something to change into, because you will be getting your feet wet, and wet hiking boots are not much fun. That's a lesson I learned the first time I hiked this trail. As you can see, the sign was broken, leaning up against a tree, and I just took the wrong direction. But we're back to where we needed to be, and in a short time we would be across the creek and up to the campsite. found our camping spot that we were looking for last night, and we've set up and we're sitting down here by the creek, and we're going to walk up to the waterfalls here in a little bit. But right now, we're just kind of chilling out and taking it easy. Got the whole day. We're going to hike back out tomorrow and head home, so enjoying a Saturday in the woods. The campsite really is sitting right next to this beautiful creek, which I assume is Bear Creek. It must turn a lot. He flew away again. I got a dragonfly that keeps landing on me, but I can't get him every time I move. He flies away. Imagine that. It was an enchanting day. Sunlight coming down through the trees and the creek running right underneath us. Looking at the trout in the stream and knowing that, well, a good uphill hike. There were a couple of really beautiful waterfalls to go see. What a great way to spend a Saturday. By the time we finally reached the waterfalls, the day had gotten really hot, and so taking your shoes off and getting your feet wet was an absolute priority. Like I said, there are two waterfalls. This is the upper fall where I was dipping my feet. My friend Mark was hanging out down by the lower fall, which is equally as pretty. It's just a really cool spot. And there is a camping site really close to the waterfalls. We want to go try that sometime. Anyway, we made it back down to our site, built a fire, had some dinner, and crashed. But what a good day. Good morning. We made it. Slept through the night. The birds woke me up. And time for coffee. Pack up, hike out, and go home, back to civilization. But it's been a great weekend. You should try it sometime. Sunday morning was soft and gray and beautiful. It's always sad to end a trip, but it's always nice. Those quiet moments, and we weren't in a hurry, which really made it cool. Plenty of time to enjoy a cup of coffee, some oatmeal, and just the stillness of the morning with the birds singing in the trees. Finally, it was time for one last creek crossing. And again, if you ever hike the Bear Creek Trail in Cherry Log, Georgia, be sure you bring some shoes to wear in the creeks. You will need them. Leaving's always bittersweet, but this is definitely a trail that I want to come explore again, especially in the fall when the leaves are changing and the nights are a little bit cooler. So one of the cool things I got to do over the summer was go to Bainbridge, Georgia, to spend some time with a good friend and speak at his church, Bainbridge Church. The truth is, I'd never been to Bainbridge before. It sits right down on the southwest corner of the state of Georgia, about 45 minutes from Tallahassee, Florida. It started in the late 18th century as a trading post and was incorporated in December of 1829. Actually named for William Bainbridge, who was the commander of the USS Constitution, which is, of course, a very famous U.S. naval vessel, Old Ironsides. It's a beautiful old town, really cool, vibrant city center. They've done a really good job of keeping the city alive. We stayed at the Commodore House, which is the bed and breakfast there in the historic district, and it was lovely. The folks there were friendly and warm, and we thoroughly enjoyed our stay. Bainbridge actually sits on the Flint River, which connects with the Chattahoochee and becomes the Apalachicola, dumping into the Gulf of Mexico, and it is officially a seaport city. That's kind of weird, but it's true. And I can't say enough about Bainbridge Church. Again, they greeted me, they welcomed me, they loved me, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful weekend. If you're ever there, you gotta go meet these people. So this is me standing in the town square of Bainbridge. Never been to Bainbridge before, but had a great weekend here at Bainbridge Church, and just wanted to again give a shout out to all the wonderful people down there who made that weekend happen. Anyway, I'll be back to Bainbridge. I have real good friends here, and there's a lot to explore, so it's in the future. This was my grandparents' house. This was the house that was stable when I was a kid. This was actually, I'm standing on my granddad's garden spot. The house is for sale. I just drove by and it's empty. So I'm able to walk around and take a look at it. And standing here in this backyard is a bit overwhelming, honestly. It's the first time I've done this in a very long time. Probably close to 33, 34 years. And so many memories. There are people in your life that you miss. I miss my grandparents. Ouch.
Oh my gosh. Look like a baby.
I gotta get one this way. Hold on. Oh, wait. Look over there on the other side of the building. Your face. Oh, yeah. This is so pretty.
Get this thing.
Good job.
Luke! Luke! Hey, Luke! I'm right behind you. Look back. You ready? Here we go. Is this the most fun you've ever had?
No.
Got to get you signed.
Big chain ride tomorrow.
Did you see it when we were going through the valley?
It was cool.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What do you think, Luke?
I not need it.
I think I would. It's about 1966 fun.
It is fun. The end. Period. Wait until I fall off this thing.
Luke, are you having fun?
When you get off. Anya, controller's out.
She's just chillaxing.
Go. Excuse me.
Hi.
Can mommy go say hi? Sissy's gonna
How
go say
about,
hi.
a candy cane? You get one with red stripes, okay? Come on.
Ooh, thank you.
All right.
What do you say, Luke? Mommy, can mommy sit with Santa Claus then?
Okay.
Sit with me?
Tell me your name. How old are you? And tell Santa what you want for Christmas. Anything. Sky's the limit. You got everybody's attention. You better say something.
She's so content. That's the problem. She has everything she wants.
Santa makes sure he takes care of I don't knows. We come down the chimney, put the gifts under the trees and the candy and the goodies. And when you come down, don't forget there's no peeking. We're glad you got to see us.
heard him. When we see that bear, it's against the wall. What do you think, Luke? So nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains is Bryson City, North Carolina. We stayed in a beautiful Airbnb called The Farmhouse. It was a wonderful place, just a few blocks from downtown Bryson City, from the rail depot and all the other things that we wanted to do. But it was clean, well apportioned, had a beautiful porch and a beautiful view. In fact, my wife says it may be the nicest Airbnb we've ever stayed in. And we've stayed in quite a few Airbnbs along the way. The Farmhouse in Bryson City was a really nice one, and just right for our family of 7. What are you doing, Luke?
Nothing.
Nothing? It looks like you're throwing things off the bed. Well, Luke wasn't the only one who had a good time in Bryson City. And again, the Farmhouse was just a great place to stay. Downtown Bryson City is a very charming place, filled with historic buildings, great stores, nice coffee shops and restaurants, pubs at night, and plenty to see and do. We really enjoyed our time. There's the old Swain County Courthouse that houses the Swain County Museum now. There is a chocolate shop, by the way, that we managed to visit every day we were there, and the Tuckasegee River, which runs right through downtown. Bryson City is located between the Nantahala Valley and Cherokee, North Carolina, the Indian Reservation. It's not far from Gatlinburg, not far from Maggie Valley, not far from Waynesville, and Asheville, North Carolina is just an hour and a half or so up the road. So it's really a convenient place to go explore the Great Smoky Mountains. and it's a great place to meet new friends. As I said, the Swain County Museum is in the old courthouse. Now, I've been to a lot of local history museums, and I can tell you this one is really well done, and it's free. They do accept donations, but for a donation-run museum, it was really, really well done. I really enjoyed this one. Island Park sits a little off the beaten trail, but is right in town at Bryson City. It sits where the Deep Creek runs into the Tuckasegee River, and is a great place to have a picnic and let your kids splash around in the water. And located in the gift shop where the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is this wonderful model train museum. Everybody loves model trains, and this is a really impressive collection. It's very interactive, lots of buttons for the kids to push, and admission is included with your ticket if you're riding the railroad, which I would highly suggest you should do. We took the Nantahala River trip, but there's one that goes up to Dillsburg, I believe. And that one would be interesting to take as well. But the museum, it's a must-see. As you can see, our grandkids had a great time in Bryson City. And we were all sad to leave because when we got back to Atlanta, it was hot and muggy. And boy, I miss those mountain breezes. So Mark, this whole idea started when we were talking about Sasquatch as we were walking through the woods looking for a waterfall you were pretty sure didn't exist because the camping spot didn't really exist either. And I own that. I was on the record now. But there was a waterfall and there was a camp spot. So is there a Sasquatch? That's my question that I want to talk about tonight as we're sitting here by the campfire sweating, but hopefully not getting chewed up by bugs because of the campfire. You do have a background in some paranormal, parapsychology, metaphysical stuff. You've had a little experience in that. Studied it, looked into it, I know. So, my thought, I don't think that there is a growing population of large bipedal primates roaming around in the woods of North Georgia. I know a lot of people think they've seen one.
Are we talking about
Bigfoot?
Are we talking existence or North Georgia? Are we talking wherever?
Or wherever.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, they could be, but there's supposedly a lot of them have been seen in Georgia, down the Okefenokee Swamp and up here in the Appalachians. Yeah.
Museum.
And the museum up the road. For sure, seen one there. But my thought is, what if these are interdimensional beings rather than, traditional mammals? So they are here, and then they're not here, which is why they could never be found. Is it a feasible thing And then is it a plausible idea?
Well, the one thing that pops in my mind is imagination. And we see it all through mental illness.
Right.
And people see things. If they believe it's there, they see it.
Right.
And I think that's a potential issue that needs to be talked about. It can't be discounted.
What you're saying is that if I know I saw something, even if no one else in the room saw it,
Right. Now, is that,
I still saw it.
right. Now, is that what you're talking about? Interdimensional,
No, I'm talking about,
to where they saw it.
well,
That's all I'm
peop-
getting at.
some
is-
people see ghosts,
right,
and
right,
other people don't, right?
right.
I've never seen a ghost. My parents have. My dad's house supposedly was haunted.
Yeah.
And I mean, he saw her, an old woman in a bathrobe, walk down the hall and she would turn the lights on. Now, I have turned all the lights off in that house and got up in the middle of the night and the lights be turned on. But I never saw the woman. But
Right.
some people see things, some people don't. Which goes back to the unseen realm and the fact that there is more going on in reality than meets the eye. And that's my contention about with Bigfoot and UFOs and leprechauns and gnomes and
See,
fairies and all those things.
I have a stronger believing in UFOs than I do Sasquatch.
Why? What were you?
Because of the size of the universe.
This episode of The Eclectic Monk has been brought to you by Tingle, the new energy drink that does more than give you a caffeine rush. This one you can feel. See you next time.